The Duggar family, which was once held in high esteem by a large number of people, has been plagued by scandal and disgrace in recent years. Fans are still interested in following Josh Duggar's other family members, despite the fact that he has committed a number of heinous crimes. Fans of TLC continue to have an enormous amount of affection for Joy Duggar Forsyth and her sisters. The fact that Joy Duggar is a mother to 3 small children makes it difficult for her to find time for herself on other occasions. A recent photograph, on the other hand, showed that she had a wonderful experience with one of her siblings. Continue reading to find out the details. A solo journey is what Joy Duggar is about to take. Even though she was only 19 years old at the time, Joy Anna Duggar tied the knot with Austin Forsyth in 2017. In order to be closer to the wider Duggar family, she made the decision to establish her roots in Arkansas, much like many of her siblings did. The Forsyths have 3 children, so their lives are surely full of activity now that they have them. Joy, on the other hand, will not hesitate to grasp the opportunity if she is presented with the option to spend some additional time with her siblings. There has even been some discussion around the possibility of the siblings beginning a podcast. The youngest child of the Forsyths is not nearly 2 years old yet. It would appear, however, that Austin and the rest of the family were more than capable of holding down the fort in order to allow Joy to take some time off and enjoy herself. Joy was looking forward to seeing her older sister Jinger in Los Angeles and couldn't wait to get there. Jinger Duggar is overjoyed to see her younger sister arrive in Los Angeles. Together with their 3rd kid, Jinger Duggar Vuolo and her husband Jeremy are ready to become parents for the 3rd time. On the other hand, the Vuolos welcomed Joy into their family before the advent of their new offspring. In addition to participating in some of their most cherished pursuits, the sisters were able to spend some much-needed quality time together. When a Joy Forsyth is in town, it is always the greatest time to meet up with them. A selfie of the 2 of them was attached to a post that Jinger made on Instagram. "Love you all." According to Joy's response in the comments section, "Thank you for having us, we are already having the best time. I love you both so much," Carlin Bates, who has known them for a very long time, added. In general, Instagram followers seems to like seeing the sisters interact with one another and enjoy each other's company. The following remarks were left by them. "It is really wonderful that you are able to spend some time together. That is just adorable. And wow. Joy is very mature and stunning and lovely. Appreciate the time you have with your sister. You are looking fabulous. I really wish that you women had a show. You guys are so much fun to watch on television. To what extent are you looking forward to witnessing Jinger and Joy Duggar spending quality time together in Los Angeles? Have you been looking forward to finding out more about Jinger's new baby? In the comments section, please share your own ideas. If you want to stay up to speed with the most recent news and developments regarding the Duggar family, make sure to follow Bombshell 25 online. Come back shortly for additional information. It was a crisp, quiet morning in Springdale, Arkansas, when Joy Duggar found herself sitting on the edge of the bed, staring out the window at the world beyond. The sun had barely crested the horizon, but she had already made a decision. She had packed her bags, tucked her emotions deep within the folds of her heart, and made arrangements for the one thing she hadn't done in years: leave. For most of her life, Joy had been surrounded by a world of structure, community, and tradition. Growing up in the Duggar family, her life had always been in the public eye, dictated by unspoken rules that governed everything from the clothes she wore to the way she spoke. She had followed those rules, just like everyone else, believing that this was the only way to find fulfillment. But something had shifted inside her recently, a quiet but persistent voice urging her to listen to her own heart. And now, she was about to step out of the world she knew and venture into the unknown. Her marriage to Austin Forsyth had been a whirlwind of excitement and love in the beginning. They had built a life together, filled with shared dreams and aspirations. But over time, the cracks had begun to appear. The tension that no one saw on the surface began to rise. Unspoken frustrations, unaddressed needs, and a growing sense of isolation had left Joy feeling more alone than she had ever been. When she had first left the house that morning, she hadn't known if it would be permanent. But as the hours passed, the weight of the decision became clearer. The time had come for a break, not just from Austin, but from the life she had been living. Joy had always been the dutiful wife, the one who followed the rules and supported her husband in everything. But now, standing at the edge of a new chapter, she wondered if there was more for her than just playing a supporting role. She wanted to breathe, to explore, to experience the world in a way she never had before. Her thoughts had settled on Los Angeles, a city that had always intrigued her. The very idea of LA, a place where creativity flowed freely and individuality was celebrated, seemed like the perfect place to rediscover who she was. It wasn't just a vacation, it was a quest for self-understanding. The flight to freedom. Joy's decision to fly to Los Angeles was met with a mix of emotions. On the one hand, she was filled with an undeniable sense of excitement. She had never traveled alone before, had never stepped outside the world of her family's careful oversight. On the other hand, there was the lingering guilt, the nagging feeling that she was abandoning her responsibilities, leaving behind a marriage that might still have a chance to be saved. As she boarded the plane, her heart raced with anticipation. She had always dreamed of visiting California, of seeing the palm trees and bright lights, of exploring the vibrant culture that seemed to pulse through the city. But she never imagined doing it alone. The plane ride was quiet. Joy found herself staring out the window, lost in thought. What would LA offer her? Could she truly reinvent herself in a city so full of strangers and unfamiliar faces? Would she find the answers she was searching for, or would she simply feel more lost? As the plane touched down, she felt a rush of excitement mixed with anxiety. She was here, truly here. The city was vast, noisy, and alive, and for the first time in her life, Joy felt like a small piece of something much bigger. Discovering a new world. LA was everything she had imagined and more. The traffic, the people, the towering buildings, everything was so different from the quiet, predictable life she had known. She checked into a small hotel, determined to make the most of her time away. The first few days were a blur of exploration. Joy wandered the streets of Hollywood, visited art galleries, and spent hours sitting in cafes, people watching and writing in a journal. For the first time, she wasn't defined by anyone else's expectations. She could be whoever she wanted to be. One evening, as she sat at a bustling restaurant, Joy struck up a conversation with a woman at the next table. Her name was Emma, and she was an artist living in LA to pursue her dreams. They talked about their lives, their journeys, and their struggles. Emma's free-spirited attitude and passion for her craft inspired Joy in ways she hadn't expected. "That's the beauty of LA," Emma said with a smile. "You can reinvent yourself here. You can shed the layers that other people put on you and just be. It's scary, but it's freeing too." Joy nodded, feeling the weight of those words settle deep in her soul. What if she could do that? What if she could let go of the past, of the expectations, and just be? It wasn't easy, and it wasn't going to happen overnight, but the idea of it filled her with hope. The struggle within. As the days went on, Joy found herself at a crossroads. She missed Austin. She missed the comfort of home, the familiarity of her family, and the certainty that came with living a life by the book. But she also knew that the life she had left behind wasn't enough for her anymore. She began to wonder if a break from her marriage could offer the space they both needed to heal. She had always been the one to put her husband's needs first, but now, for the first time, she was putting herself at the center of her own story. Her phone rang one afternoon. It was Austin. Her heart tightened in her chest as she picked up the call. "Hey, Joy, I've been thinking. Maybe we could talk when you get back. About us." The words hung in the air, and for a moment, Joy wasn't sure how to respond. She had imagined this conversation 1,000 times, but now that it was happening, she felt unsure of what she wanted. "I don't know if I'm ready to come back," she said softly. "I need some time to think." There was a long pause on the other end of the line. Austin's voice cracked as he spoke. "I understand. Take all the time you need." As they hung up, Joy felt a mix of relief and sorrow. She wasn't sure what the future held, but she knew she couldn't rush into any decisions. She needed to keep finding herself, even if it meant stepping away from everything she had known. A moment of clarity. It wasn't until the final days of her trip that Joy began to understand the profound shift that was happening inside her. One afternoon, she found herself standing in front of a large mural in downtown Los Angeles, admiring the vibrant colors and bold shapes. The mural told a story, one of struggle, resilience, and hope. As she stood there, staring at the painting, something clicked. This was her story, too. She had been living in the shadows of others, afraid to step into the light and claim her own voice. But now, standing before this mural, she realized that she was ready to paint her own life, to create something uniquely hers. Joy took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the past lift off her shoulders. It was time to stop hiding, time to embrace the unknown and trust that the future would unfold as it was meant to. The journey ahead. When Joy boarded the plane back to Arkansas, she was no longer the same person who had left a week earlier. The journey to Los Angeles had given her the space to reflect, to heal, and to rediscover parts of herself she had long neglected. The road ahead was uncertain, but for the first time, Joy felt confident in her ability to navigate it on her own terms. As the plane ascended into the sky, she looked out the window, smiling softly. She had found a new sense of freedom, a freedom that would allow her to decide what came next. Whether that meant a future with Austin or a future that was entirely her own, she knew she was strong enough to face whatever